Do you know who Bill Gates is? Most people recognize his name, and it's no surprise. Bill Gates is one of the most influential figures in the world. He is the co-founder of Microsoft, a company that changed how we use computers. Beyond technology, he has also become a leader in global philanthropy, helping millions of people. But how did he achieve all of this? Let's take a journey through his life to understand. Bill Gates' story is one of curiosity, determination, and generosity. He was not born a billionaire. Like everyone else, he started as a young boy with big dreams. What made him different? His endless passion for learning and his willingness to take risks. Through this story, you will not only learn about Bill Gates's incredible achievements, but also improve your English. Each part of his journey will teach you new vocabulary, phrases, and ideas. You'll discover how he grew from a curious boy in Seattle to the head of a global empire, and later, one of the world's greatest philanthropists. Are you ready to be inspired and practice your English? Let's begin with the early years of Bill Gates' life. What was he like as a child? How did his first steps shape the man he became? Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington. His full name is William Henry Gates III, but everyone called him Bill. He grew up in a middle-class family with his parents, William and Mary, and his two sisters. Bill's father was a lawyer, and his mother was a teacher who later worked with charities. From a young age, Bill was surrounded by support and encouragement to pursue education. As a child, Bill was curious and loved learning. He spent hours reading books, often choosing topics far beyond his age. His parents sometimes joked that Bill was like a sponge, soaking up knowledge from everywhere. At school, he excelled in subjects like math and science, but he wasn't very interested in following rules. Bill's teachers noticed his sharp mind and encouraged him to explore his talents. When Bill was 13, something happened that would change his life forever. He saw his first computer. Back in the 1960s, computers were very different from what we use today. They were huge, slow, and rare, but Bill was fascinated. His school had a computer club, and Bill spent every free moment there. He wasn't afraid to make mistakes while learning how to write computer programs. He quickly became one of the best in the club. One day, Bill and his friends found a way to use the computer more than they were allowed. The school administrators were upset, but instead of punishing him, they gave Bill more opportunities to work with computers. They saw his passion and wanted to encourage it. By the time he was a teenager, Bill was already dreaming of how computers could change the world. He believed they could be smaller, faster, and more useful for everyone. Little did he know, these dreams would one day become reality. What would the young Bill do next? How did his passion for computers turn into a career? Let's move forward and explore how Bill Gates and his friend Paul Allen created a company that would shape the future of technology. As Bill Gates grew older, his passion for computers only intensified. During high school, he continued to work on programming projects and learned everything he could about software. It was during this time that he met Paul Allen, a fellow student who shared his love for technology. Although Paul was a few years older than Bill, they quickly became close friends. They spent hours discussing how computers could change the world, dreaming of the possibilities that lay ahead. In 1973, Bill went to Harvard University, one of the most prestigious schools in the United States. His parents were proud, but Bill had a different plan. While he studied law to please his family, his heart remained with computers. He and Paul stayed in touch, sharing ideas and working on small projects together. Then, in 1975, something extraordinary happened. A magazine featured a new computer called the Altair 8800. This machine was one of the first personal computers, but it didn't have software to make it work properly. When Bill and Paul saw this, they immediately recognized an opportunity. They contacted the company that made the Altair and offered to write software for it. The company agreed, and within weeks, Bill and Paul had developed their first program. It worked perfectly, and the company loved it. This success inspired Bill and Paul to start their own company. They called it Microsoft, combining microcomputer and software. At first, their office was small, with just a few desks and lots of ambition. Bill decided to leave Harvard to focus on Microsoft full-time. It was a bold move, but Bill was confident. The early days of Microsoft were not easy. Bill and Paul worked long hours, often sleeping in the office. They didn't have much money, and every project was a challenge, but they believed in their vision to bring computers into homes and businesses around the world. Their breakthrough came when they signed a deal with IBM, one of the largest computer companies in the world. Microsoft agreed to create an operating system for IBM's personal computers. This operating system, called MS-DOS, became a huge success. Suddenly, Microsoft was on the map. By the 1980s, Microsoft was growing rapidly. Bill was not just a programmer anymore. He had become a leader. He worked tirelessly to ensure that the company stayed ahead of the competition. His focus, determination, and vision were unmatched. But success came with challenges. Bill knew that to achieve his dream, Microsoft needed to innovate constantly. He encouraged his team to think big and push the limits of what was possible. His leadership style was intense, but it got results. What started as an idea between two friends was now transforming the world. Microsoft wasn't just a company. It was becoming a movement that would redefine how people interacted with technology. What challenges would Bill face as Microsoft grew? How did the company overcome obstacles to remain a leader in the industry? Let's move forward to the next chapter and explore the trials and triumphs of Microsoft's rise to greatness. As Microsoft grew, so did the challenges. In the 1980s, the company was riding high on the success of MS-DOS. But Bill Gates understood that success in the tech industry required constant innovation. He wanted to create something bigger, an operating system that would be user-friendly and accessible to everyone. That vision led to the creation of Windows in 1985. Windows was a game-changer. It introduced a graphical interface that made computers easier to use, even for people with no technical background. Instead of typing complicated commands, users could simply click on icons and open files. It was revolutionary. Millions of people and businesses began using Windows, and it quickly became the most popular operating system in the world. However, the road to success wasn't smooth. Microsoft faced fierce competition from other companies like Apple and IBM. Bill Gates had to make tough decisions to ensure that Microsoft stayed ahead. He worked long hours and demanded the same level of commitment from his team. His leadership style was sometimes criticized as intense and demanding, but it drove results. The biggest challenge came in the 1990s, when Microsoft faced legal trouble. The U.S. government accused the company of unfair business practices, saying Microsoft was trying to create a monopoly by forcing computer manufacturers to include Windows on their machines. This was a stressful period for Bill Gates and the company. The case dragged on for years and threatened to damage Microsoft's reputation. Despite these challenges, Bill remained focused. He took the criticism seriously and began to change how Microsoft operated. The company adapted its strategies to meet the demands of the market and the expectations of regulators. While dealing with these legal battles, Microsoft continued to grow. The 1990s also saw the rise of the Internet, and Bill recognized its potential early on. Under his leadership, Microsoft launched Internet Explorer, a web browser that became one of the most widely used tools of its time. This move solidified Microsoft's position as a leader in the tech industry. Through all the ups and downs, one thing never changed: Bill Gates' determination. He believed that technology could make life better for everyone, and he was willing to work through any obstacle to achieve that goal. By the end of the 1990s, Microsoft was not just a successful company. It was a global phenomenon. Windows was running on nearly every computer in the world, and Bill Gates was celebrated as a visionary. But what would Bill do next? How would he balance his role as a business leader with his growing interest in making a difference in the world? In the next chapter, we'll explore Bill Gates' decision to step away from Microsoft and focus on his philanthropic work. By the early 2000s, Bill Gates had achieved what most people could only dream of. Microsoft was one of the most successful companies in the world, and Bill had become the richest person on the planet. Yet, as the company thrived, Bill began to feel a pull in a different direction. His thoughts turned from software to something even bigger: how he could use his success to make a difference in the world. In 2008, Bill made a bold decision. He announced that he would step down from his full-time role at Microsoft to focus on philanthropy. It was a surprising move for many, but for Bill, it felt like the natural next step. Along with his wife, Melinda, he had already established the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, an organization dedicated to solving some of the world's toughest problems. The foundation's mission was clear: improve global health, reduce poverty, and expand access to education. Bill and Melinda believed that everyone deserved a chance to live a healthy and productive life, no matter where they were born. They started by tackling diseases like malaria, polio, and HIV/AIDS, which were devastating millions of lives in developing countries. One of their most impactful projects was funding the development and distribution of vaccines. Bill understood the power of vaccines to save lives, and he worked tirelessly to make them accessible to people in the poorest parts of the world. The foundation also supported clean water initiatives, agricultural development, and education programs. Bill's transition from CEO to philanthropist wasn't just about giving money. He applied the same problem-solving skills and determination that had made Microsoft successful. He often said, "Innovation is the key, whether it was in technology or in finding new ways to fight poverty and disease." Of course, stepping away from Microsoft didn't mean Bill was no longer involved in technology. He continued to serve as an advisor and advocate for innovation. But his primary focus was now on creating a legacy of positive change. Over the years, the Foundation's efforts have reached millions of people. From eradicating diseases to improving schools, Bill and Melinda's work has made a real difference. Bill often reflects on how his success at Microsoft gave him the resources to take on these challenges. "With great success comes great responsibility," he once said. As Bill stepped into this new chapter of his life, one thing remained constant: his belief in the power of knowledge, innovation, and hard work to change the world. What lessons can we take from Bill Gates's incredible journey? In the next chapter, we'll explore the key values and life lessons that shaped his path and continue to inspire people worldwide. Bill Gates's life is filled with lessons that can inspire anyone, regardless of their background. His journey from a curious boy in Seattle to a global leader in technology and philanthropy offers valuable insights into what it takes to achieve greatness and make a difference. One of the most important lessons we can learn from Bill is the value of curiosity and a love for learning. From a young age, he was always eager to explore new ideas and solve problems. Whether it was reading books as a child or staying up late to learn programming, Bill's dedication to knowledge set him apart. He once said, "I'm a big believer that any tool that enhances communication has profound effects on how people can learn." Another key lesson is the importance of perseverance. Bill faced many challenges throughout his life, from the early struggles of building Microsoft to dealing with legal battles and intense competition. Yet, he never gave up. He believed in his vision and worked tirelessly to achieve it. This determination reminds us that success doesn't come overnight. It's a result of hard work and resilience. Bill's life also highlights the significance of taking risks. Leaving Harvard to start Microsoft was a bold move, but it was one that changed his life and the world. He trusted his instincts and wasn't afraid to follow his dreams. As he often says, "To win big, you sometimes have to take big risks." Finally, Bill teaches us the power of giving back. After achieving incredible success, he turned his attention to helping others. Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he has shown that wealth and influence can be used to create a positive impact. His actions remind us that true success is not just about personal achievements, but also about making the world a better place. As we reflect on Bill Gates' life, we can see that his story is not just about technology or business, it's about curiosity, perseverance, courage, and compassion. These values can inspire all of us to dream big, work hard, and give back. But Bill's journey is far from over. His legacy continues to grow, and his impact will be felt for generations to come. In the final chapter, we'll conclude this story and explore how you can take inspiration from Bill Gates to improve your life and learning. Bill Gates' life is a powerful example of how passion, hard work, and a desire to make a difference can shape the world. From his early fascination with computers to creating Microsoft and becoming one of the greatest philanthropists of our time, his story inspires us to dream big and act with purpose. What can we take from Bill's journey? First, never stop learning. Knowledge is a tool that opens doors and helps you achieve your goals. Second, embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. Bill faced many obstacles, but his determination helped him overcome them. Third, use your success to help others. No matter how big or small, your actions can create a positive ripple effect in the world. Now it's your turn to act. How can you apply these lessons to your own life? Perhaps it's taking a risk to follow your dreams, dedicating time to learn something new, or finding ways to help those around you. And as you reflect on these ideas, remember that improving your English is also a step toward opening new opportunities. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep growing. Thank you for joining this journey. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales and English learning tips. Let's continue to grow together.